Hey guys, Morgan from DePaul's Hardware coming back to you with the second part of the Husqvarna 420iQ Automower. I am super excited to show you how easy it is to set this thing up and how awesome it's making our yard look. I know that a lot of you have been waiting a long time for this one, so we're going to get to it right now. Part 2. And as always, stay to the end for the bonus clips. That's where we have the most fun. Oh, the rain can't save you now, pal. It's chopping time, son. Finally, folks, blue skies. Today's the day we get the Automower out on its way. So we're here at our property and we're going to try to figure out where the best place to put the charging station and the Epos unit is on the house. So our main focus is going to be on the small front section, the side yard, which is the main yard here, and a little bit towards the back, this little extension that goes around the deck. So what we need to do is take a look at the house and see a couple of good spots where we can mount the Epos unit. Originally, I was thinking all the way up at the peak. The only problem is it's a little hard to get to. We do have solar panels on the roof, and if I mount it up there, I would also have to run the low voltage cable all the way down the side here, and around to the under the deck where the power is. So I am thinking we're going to put it over here on this bird box, part of the lower section of the roof. It'll be unencumbered by the surrounding area. It should be able to see the satellite. I'm sure that's somewhere up there. So what we're going to start with is mounting the Epos unit, plugging it in, make sure it's got a connection to the satellite so that we can move on to finding the best location for where the charging station is going to go. So let's get the parts and get started. All right, what are we going to need to get started? Well, we need our Epos unit, we need the low voltage cable, and one of these mounting clips. Now, technically, if I'm mounting it to that bird box up there, I probably could use the straight mount and have it stick above the roof line, but I'm thinking that since I have some extra parts off of old Ego lawnmowers, I can use this as a pole. Now, Husqvarna does sell an offset unit, which is basically an L-bracket pole that will not only pull you away from the house, but will also raise you up a little bit to get you a better view to the satellite. But since I don't have that, this is aluminum. I think this is going to be a perfect pole extension. So I'm going to use the pole mount with the two clamps, mount it to that bird box, and plug it in to make sure that we got a good view of the satellite. So when you first plug it in, the little indicator light should be flashing green. When it finally establishes a connection to the satellite, it should be a solid green color. It could take up to 60 minutes. You got to be a little patient with this part. But let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to mount it to the pole first, grab the long, big ladder that we have, get up there and attach it and test it and make sure that it's got a good sight to the satellite. Okay, I'm going to mount the pole bracket all the way towards the top. It's going to take the two clamps, send them through and around, tighten them down, and then we can slide the Epos unit right onto the mount. Once you get the mount connected to your pole, this guy just slides right in and clips right down, just like that. Then when it comes time to running the low voltage cable, just pop this front cover off. You're going to slide the cable in, connect it to the quick disconnect here. It's a waterproof connection, and then the cable will run down here. But before that, let's get it mounted up there. Now, if you're afraid of heights, this may not be something you want to do.
Guys, be sure to look down the whole time. It's really deep and freaky and disorienting.
You may lean towards putting more of a pole in your yard, but I do believe for this particular property, this is going to be the best fit and best location to connect to the satellite, to be unencumbered by any of the surrounding areas. Alright guys, now that we got that baby mounted up there, we started some of the cable management up high. We're running it behind the corner here. We're going to come down and really straighten things out once we plug it in and test it out and make sure that everything is actually working. I had plenty of cable to make it to the electric box, so that's the important thing. So I am super glad that we didn't go to the peak because we may not have had enough. So let's plug this guy in and test it out just to make sure everything is actually working now. Now, obviously, we'll clean this up. We'll mount this guy here, probably below the box, as long as it's above at least 12 to 13 inches off the ground for safety. But we just want to really plug it in and test it out, make sure that we can get a good view of the satellite to know that our position that we mounted that Epos unit is going to be a legitimate working one. All right, my friends, we see a blinking green light.
Did you say Abe Lincoln?
No, I ain't say Abe Lincoln. I said, hey, Blinken. Hold the reins, man. Dang.
Which is exactly what we would expect to see. It's searching for the satellite. Now we're going to give that some time, up to about 60 minutes, but we'll keep coming back and checking on it, making sure that it's going solid green once it connects. If it keeps blinking after about 60 minutes, well, we may need to rethink where we're mounting this thing. So Husqvarna does recommend that if you can mount it temporarily where you want to put it, that's a great idea. I don't think we're going to have an issue, but for now, let's move on to the charging station, and we'll come back to this guy. Let's talk charging station. So, two things that we want to keep in mind. One, we need access to power, and on this side of the house, we do have a box right here that we can plug into, so that's going to be our power source. Plenty close enough for that cable that they give us. And two, we need a flat ground that's unencumbered by an overhead hang and surrounding trees or anything like that. We need this to also have a clear communication path with Mr. Epos up there. So originally I was thinking next to the steps or somewhere underneath the Epos unit, but the other thing that we really need to also focus on is it needs to be on a level ground. So now I'm thinking I'm going to put it right on this little corner piece here. I'm going to trim down the grass here, get some sand, and try to level this spot out the best that I can so that when the Husqvarna Automower unit can pull up to the spot where this guy is going to sit for the charging station. It can go right on, unencumbered, nice and level, and then we're going to stake down the charging station to make sure it doesn't move. BRB. Okay, now that we got the station basically level, we're going to take these stakes here, stake down all the holes to make sure that this guy doesn't move. We could also crank down the ones that need to go a little tighter and slightly leave the ones in the back a little bit higher if we need to fine-tune the level. Then we're going to send the low power cable through the back over to the power, and then we can go and actually take a look at our Epos unit to see if that turned green. It's been about 30 minutes or so, so it still has some time if it's not solid green, but we might as well check. Now, if you find some aren't going in, maybe a rock underneath, may have to move it around or lift this up, kind of dig out that rock. I'm going to leave it aside for the moment. I'm going to continue on to the other side. Perfectly level though, so that's always good. There is a big old rock under there. So what I'm going to do in this particular case, I'm going to kind of fill in some of the dirt that kicked over, kind of tighten it down a little bit. And you could skip this hole, but I'm just going to trim down the length of it so that I can get into the soil and kind of just mount this hole at least a little bit. So I'm going to trim about 1.5 inches off, keeping the wider part. There, nice and tight. Let's give it a final look. Oh, we are on the money. Look at that, right in the middle. Making my union carpenter father very proud. Let's check this way here. Right in the middle. This way here. Just about right in the middle. And this way here. Well within reason. Alright, let's get moving. You know what? Let's check on our Epos unit. Like I said, it's been about 30-35 minutes. Let's see how it's doing. Let's zoom on in. Oh, that looks solid green to me. Alright, we are good. Next step, what do we always teach here, people? Cable management. Let's get that cable nice and hidden. We'll unplug it, get everything mounted, replug it back in. Let's finish our charging station here. We have the low voltage cable, and it's going to come in right through this back port right here. Make it easy for us. So let's lift up the cap and lower down the front shield. So this is where the low voltage cable should be coming through, and then we're going to connect it to this guy. If you are going to be running guide wires, it would come through this little back channel right here and plug into your guide wire system. On the back side, the guide wires would go in through this wider slot right here. We're not going to do guide wires right now. We're just going to do the E-post. Here comes the cable. I'm going to plug it into the waterproof quick disconnect here. You'll hear it clip in. And I can actually keep it just in this little channel back here. That way it doesn't get pinched anywhere else. Close up your guide cover here. And let's plug in the low voltage cable to the power supply. All right, we certainly have more than enough of the low voltage cable. And again, we're just going to plug this in so that we can put on the Automower unit, let it charge up. And then we will run the wires a little bit neatly afterwards. And since we're going to have some extra cable, I have a little, the steps here, I can kind of tuck in the extra cable underneath down here, so I can tuck them in and hide the extra cable loop, so that way there it's kind of out of the way, or I could bury them under the stone, either way. Good news on this end, we got our blue flashing lights, which means our station does see the power, and it's waiting for the Automower unit to come home. Okay, we put in Mr. Automower into the charging station, and it does look like we have power. It's asking for the unlock code. It's 1, 2, 3, 4.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Yes.
That's amazing. I've got the same combination on my luggage. Prepare Spaceball 1 for immediate departure.
Yes, sir.
And change the combination on my luggage.
So we're going to go ahead and plug that in now. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we are unlocked. It's now looking for Bluetooth, so we got to get our phone ready and go through all the setup steps. Automower is going home. Come on, you can do it. Head on home. That's your home.
That's your home! Are you too good for your home? Answer me!
Nice. All right, we are back. What we did here was run that cable down the corner, through, underneath the downspout, around the door, and down all the way to the ground. And then we made the wires nice and neat around the power outlet. So that is for the Epos unit. Let's go take a look at the charging station wiring. All right, for the charging station, we went straight down under the stone. We had an extra bag of stone for any spots that were a little light, but this way here, you can't even tell the cable's there. Went up and behind the stairs, came through the flashing at the bottom, and ran the power cord straight into the box. And why do we do this, class?
Cable management.
That's right. Cable management is important. Our setup is pretty much complete. We did a couple of cut areas. We did a couple of no-go zones. We did a direct path back to the station. So now really all we have to do is send it off on its main voyage and let it do some cutting. I do have some other areas around the yard that I'll get back to. I can do this front a little bit better. I can do the back where the deck is as a separate zone where I want it to cut. And I am going to do like a no-go zone for this D-box and for our septic. But other than that, we're going to go ahead and send this baby out and let them do some cutting.
Send in the box.
There she goes, cutting the perimeter. We set it for parallel lines for now. Let's see how she does on the maiden voyage. Alright, looks like it's cutting. It cuts the grass so fine that it actually mulches it down. So we're going to check a couple of different spots to see how it's doing, but I have it set for 4 inches to try to keep it as high as possible. And I'll keep a close eye on it, and we'll make adjustments if need be. So I don't know if you guys can hear how quiet it really is. The only thing you can hear is the grass itself kind of being shaved. Other than that, this thing is almost dead quiet, which is awesome. Because this thing could actually run 24 hours a day, all night, never miss a night. So far, it has stayed out of all of the no-go zones I set, including the septic and the very small D-box right there. So far, this thing is 100% successful. Now, obviously, because the blades are only about an inch long, and the cutting area is about 8 inches or so, it takes a long time to cut the yard, but this thing will just run until it's done. It docks itself, it charges itself. As long as it has battery life, it'll keep cutting for you. As always, I'd love to thank you guys for watching. Thank you so much for sticking with us and helping our channel grow. If you like this video, make sure to subscribe, ring that bell so you get notified, hit those like buttons to make us aware of all the videos you like. Send us the comments of the videos you want to see. I've been checking them out just about every day to make sure I can keep up with everybody. This is your hardware store captain signing out for now, reminding you that after a long day of hard work, It's always a good idea to kick back, relax, and enjoy the fruits of your labor. Talk to you next time. Hey, thanks, bud. Doing a hell of a job. Keep it up. Don't work too hard, though. Catch up with you.